have here?
Yeah, listen, I'm extremely excited and grateful for the opportunity, man. I've been looking forward to it ever since I got offered the job. You know, when I came in and met with those guys, I had a really good feeling about it, and I saw, Coach Schotte's vision and direction he wanted to take this team. So that got me really excited to get here. So I'm looking forward to, moving forward from here.
Is it kind of difficult to say how we move forward when you really don't know the running backs room just yet?
Yeah, no, you don't. But I think the focus is right now is trying to connect with the guys that are in the building right now currently, and then just try to get together with the guys on the offensive side of the ball and just try to, get the schematics and things of how we want to do things around here, and then try to, mimic or, echo Coach Schotte's, message for this organization and the team.
Schottenheimer's talked a lot, and Clayton Adams have also talked about the physicality they want to bring back to the running game.
Absolutely.
Does that excite you when you hear that? Like, we want to be physical?
Absolutely. I think it's a key part to running the football. I think you got to establish that at the line of scrimmage, and then I think everybody else has to follow that method. I think being a tough physical team and a smart football team, I think that's extremely important, especially when you're talking about running football.
And how about as a running back coach trying to marriage what you guys do in the running back room with the offensive line? Obviously, you got an OC who was an O-line coach, Connor Riley coming in. How do you guys going to build that relationship now, before the season even starts?
Yeah, I think it's all about connecting. You know what I mean? I think it's the connecting piece and building a relationship with one another and getting an opportunity to really learn about each other and the way we think, the way we operate, and really just building the relationships around that.
You've coached Kamara, and you've seen, obviously, not the same back as Deuce Vaughn, but when you look at guys, they come in all shapes and sizes. Can you just talk about your philosophy when it comes to running backs and the different things they can do?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing when it comes to running back is a smart, tough, physical football player, a guy that understands exactly how the blocks are set up, has really good vision, really good foot quickness, and understands the lanes and the areas that he needs to be in, and also in the protection also. You bring up Alvin. I think that was one of the things about Alvin that made him unique is he was a very smart football player, and he's also a really tough football player and a guy that has a high work ethic about himself. And I think, any runner that wants to be really good in the NFL carry those types of traits.
What are your thoughts on Rico Dowdle, the team's featured back this past year? I know he's set to be a free agent, but what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, from what I've studied on him and watched on some film of him, and I think he was very physical and very tough. Downhill runner, seems to make yards after contact, always falling forward. Had really good vision and really good instincts in between the tackles, and he always found a way to find the lanes.
You mentioned, we talked about being physical, but you also mentioned they got to be smart. When people think physical run game, they think just ground and pound right down the middle. How do you incorporate intelligence in a physical running game?
Yeah, I think it's all about understanding the blocking and the schemes of what we're doing, and I think that goes into the classroom once I teach those guys exactly what we're trying to get out of this play, and Clayton and Coach Schotте getting in front of the team and explaining exactly what we're trying to look for on this particular run play. And guys just taking a deeper dive in the film room. Once we get in the classroom, we just do a deeper study to understand exactly what is this play in particular and what are we trying to get accomplished.
You had Austin Ekeler with the Chargers. What do you remember about when Ekeler, obviously a guy that kind of came out a little bit of Western Colorado, I believe, out of nowhere. What do you remember when he turned the corner, and how did he turn the corner, and how can you kind of take that and coach your other running backs with that?
Yeah, Austin, when I got with the Chargers, man, Austin already had a work ethic and a mindset that he really wanted to be really good. And so some things that he really took pride in is how he practiced. And I think that starts with his preparation. And it wasn't just on the field, it was his preparation off the field as well. The things that he did with his body, how he worked in the weight room, and then I think it transitioned in the classroom, and he took pride in how he studied, what he wanted to know, into the details of the run game and the pass game and the pass protection, and then it just exemplified itself on the field. And so when you're able to carry that thing from, like we say, from the classroom to the field, I think that's important. That's some of the things that he done.
Louis Schwartz with ABC5. How do you get the trust of the running backs? Because some running backs in the past have felt like maybe the position coach wasn't a guy that they could always lean into, could help them, understand the positions. How do you go about getting them the trust and knowing that, hey, I know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's all about, and it first starts before football. It starts with building a relationship before football. I think, and I had an opportunity to get on the phone with some of these guys and kind of just talk with them a little bit. And some of them, they're eager to get to football, like, hey, what are we going to be doing and all that kind of stuff. And I put that stuff on pause. I think it's about building a true foundational relationship of getting to know one another. Them getting to know exactly me, my purpose of coaching, my passion for it, and then me getting an opportunity to know their passion, their whys, why do they want to do this, and things that they want to really get good at. And I think we maximize that before we even get to the X's and O's part. So it's really about building a relationship of understanding each other, and I think we can go from there.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Because you have been a running back coach before, did that also kind of help bridge that gap with some younger players or even veteran players that, hey, I know what I'm doing, and that can also build trust?
Yeah, absolutely. When you're able to kind of just give your past experiences and share with them, because some of them ask, obviously. Obviously, we didn't have as much technology as we do now, so you can't try to go back and kind of look and give those examples. But you do share your experiences with those, and I think that kind of helps as well.
You've had some back too, been exceptional in the passing game as receivers. How do you see that being emphasized here in this offense?
Yeah, from what we've talked and discussed, I think it's a part of what we plan on doing with the offense. And so we're getting to all that right now. We hadn't quite got to the pass game yet. We're still trying to build the front end of it. And so, but I do see it being incorporated into what we're doing.
It seems like the running back position has gotten a resurgence the last couple of years. Yep. As a running back, so how happy are you to see that? People care about the running backs again. And
yeah,
paid too.
yeah. That's a good thing, huh? No, it's exciting to see. I think, especially from a running back, I'm very passionate about the position, and I think they call upon to do a lot of different things, whether in the run game, in the pass game, and also blocking for the quarterback in pass protection. I think you got to have that type of pride at this position. It is, and I don't think you can just stick and plug anybody at this position. I think it takes a special guy that takes pride in all three phases, to be really good at his craft.
And Derek, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. To that question, how valuable is it to what you do to know when you hear Schottenheimer and Clayton Adams and Connor Riley all emphasize the run game and the physicality they're going for? How valuable is it to what you do on a daily basis?
I think it's extremely valuable. I think it gives you an opportunity to go in the room and be really confident with the guys you have in the room, and it's not a hard sell at all because they know exactly what type of team we want to be. And in order to win in this league, I think you have to be able to run the football. And I think as long as they understand that philosophy, then we'll be okay.
Do you have an opinion yet on the depth there is among the running backs in this draft?
No, not at all. Not at all.
What's your background with Brian Schottenheimer, and just why did this position kind of fit best for you?
Didn't have a previous relationship. I think this profession is about relationships, and so and it's a big business, but it's a small business as well. And I think we had mutual connections in between us that kind of connected to both of us. And so once he gave me the phone call and he expressed exactly how he got my name and his level of interest in me, I think once I got here we kind of connected and went from there.
So what's been your impression of him as a head coach in these last few weeks?
I've been extremely impressed. I can't express it enough because you can clearly see the vision and the direction that he wants to take this football team.
What is that? You had to articulate.
If I had to articulate it, I think when we're trying to be a connected football team, a team that attacks defenses, a team that builds relationship base, with our players outside of football, a team that wants to be a physical football team, a team at the end of the day, we have an ultimate goal, and at the end you want to be playing for the Super Bowl, obviously. But I think that starts very smaller than that, and that's building and connecting with the players that you have in the building and building and connecting with the coaches that you have on staff.
So you can talk about you guys building relationships right now, and you guys just hanging out together, being in hotels together. How unique is this period right now for a new coaching staff?
It's unique because we all getting a chance to learn each other. You sit in the meeting room with each other and try to, bounce ideas because we all been in different places. More so me just learning exactly how Clayton sees it or how Coach Schotty sees it. And then if there's a question about how have you guys done it in the past, I think we share that common knowledge a little bit there too.
Over the past decade, the NFL had been viewed as, growing into a passing league. But do you think, the past couple of years specifically, the landscape's kind of changed from, the free agent signings last year and, the rookies coming up, and it's kind of, rewritten that kind of narrative?
Repeat one more time. Repeat the question exactly.
Just how, over the past couple of years, we've had, past offseason, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, and also the rookies coming out seem pro-ready. Is it rewriting kind of the narrative with the running back position and just how it's treated?
Yeah, I think so. When you got veteran players like the Saquon Barkleys who are having incredible seasons like they're having, and then you're having some of the younger guys like the Jahmyr Gibbs of the world that are coming in and making an impact.
All right, Cowboys fans, we need to talk about this. The rumors surrounding a potential trade for Micah Parsons are spreading like wildfire. Could the Cowboys actually consider moving on from their defensive superstar? The debate reached a boiling point on ESPN's First Take, where analysts clashed over whether Dallas should commit to Parsons long-term or cash in while they can. And that's got fans divided. Look, there's no denying that Parsons is the heart of this defense. His explosiveness, his ability to wreck an offensive game plan, it's special. But now questions are swirling. Should the Cowboys even entertain the idea of trading him? What do you think? Should Dallas even consider trading Micah Parsons? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you think that sounds crazy, wait until we talk about the contract situation, because that's where things get really complicated. Here's where things get tricky. Micah Parsons is eligible for a contract extension, and the Cowboys have a decision to make. Pay him now or wait. But is it really that simple? Some argue that handing Parsons a massive deal this early is risky. His personality can be unpredictable, and there have been concerns about his maturity. Committing top-tier money to a player like that? It's a gamble. Then there's the financial side. We've seen what happened with Dak Prescott. Dallas waited too long, and when they finally paid him, the contract became a cap nightmare. If they do the same with Parsons, it could. cost them even more down the line. But on the other hand, can you really afford to play games with a generational talent? What do you think? Should the Cowboys lock Parsons in now or wait another year? Let me know in the comments. And speaking of value, just how indispensable is Parsons to this team? Let's break it down next. Let's be real. Micah Parsons is an incredible talent. His speed, his explosiveness, his ability to wreck a game in an instant. But here's the big question. Is he truly indispensable? Think about it. The best pass rushers in the NFL, guys like TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, and Nick Bosa, have all had signature moments, plays that define their dominance. Now, ask yourself, has Parsons had that kind of moment? A game-winning sack in the playoffs? A performance that put the team on his back? Statistically, he's up there with the elite, but numbers don't always tell the full story. The Cowboys defense as a whole has struggled in big games. If Parsons was that guy, shouldn't we have seen more game-changing plays when it mattered most? I want to hear from you. What's Parsons' most memorable moment as a Cowboy? If he has one, drop it in the comments. And that leads us to the big question. If he's not untouchable, could the Cowboys actually trade him? And if so, what could they get in return? Let's talk about it next. All right, let's get into it. Could the Cowboys really trade Micah Parsons? As crazy as it sounds, it's not impossible. There's already speculation that Dallas might consider it if the right offer comes along. Imagine getting multiple first-round picks or even a package of elite young players. With a 2024 draft loaded with pass rush talent, the Cowboys could reset their defense while avoiding a massive contract extension. But here's the dilemma. Do you gamble on potential or do you stick with a proven star? Parsons is already one of the best at his position, and guys like him don't come around often. On the other hand, building a deeper, more complete roster might be the smarter long-term move. If you were the Cowboys GM, would you take the deal? Trade Parsons for a haul of draft picks or keep him no matter what? Vote in the comments. Now, what will Dallas actually do? Let's break it all down in the final chapter. So after everything we've covered, what's the right move for Dallas? The Cowboys can afford to pay Parsons. The real question is, should they? Keeping him means committing to a massive contract and hoping he deliver on championship level expectations. Trading him could set up the team with premium draft picks, a more roster flexibility, but it also means giving up a generational talent. At the end of the day, the best solution might be to pay Parsons and build a competitive roster around him. Letting go of your best defensive player rarely makes sense. What do you think? Should the Cowboys lock Parsons in with a long-term deal or shake things up with a blockbuster trade? Drop your take in the comments. And if you like this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Cowboys updates.